Hello, today we'll be looking at maths and science. Today we are looking at fractions, decimals and percentages. The learning objective is to use the concept of ratio in manipulating fractions. We will be looking at how to convert fractions, decimal and percentages and calculate percentage change. To convert between decimal and fraction, if I have a fraction and I want to change it to decimal, all I need to do is divide the top number by the bottom number. So for example, if my top number is a 4 and the bottom number is a 5, I'll do 4 divided by 5, which is equal to 0.8. Now, I'm going to give you a number of questions for you to apply this knowledge and see if you have got a better understanding of how to change fractions into decimal. What I'd like you to do here is to take a few minutes. You may use a calculator if you feel you need to, and have a go at changing these fractions into decimals. So remember, it's the top number divided by the bottom number. I hope you have managed to do these calculations. In order for you to check your answers, let's have a look together. 7 divided by 10 gives you 0.7. 1 over 50 is 0.2. 2 over 5 is 0.4. If you move it to the next challenge, 3 over 4 is 0.75. 7 over 8 is 0.875. 2 over 30 is 0.67. And 9 over 20 gives you 0.45. And finally, 7 over 25 is 0.28. So simple calculations of changing one form to the other. This time we're going to do a reverse. So this time you've already got your decimal point here, and we're going to change it into a fraction. So you know I got 0.85. I want to change it into a fraction. So all I need to do is do 8 divided by 100, which also gives you the same number. And then if I wanted to change into a further fraction and simplify it, I need to find a common number that can go into 85 and 100. You'll see I've used 5. So if I divide both sides by 5, I can then simplify it into 17 over 20. So in this stage, you're going from a decimal into a bigger fraction, and then you simplify that fraction into smallest fraction possible by using the common multiplier this in here, or number you can divide it by, which is 5 in this case. So on the following slides, I'm going to give you some examples for you to practice. So this time I'd like you to change these decimals into fractions, and once you've got the fractions, to see if you can change them into any more simpler fractions. So here you will see that I've changed the top fractions, top decimals into fractions. So the top ones are odd numbers, they cannot be simplified into any further fractions. If you then look at silver and gold, where you can simplify them further, then what I've done is simplified them by multiplying them first and then changing them to simplified fractions. So for example, if we look at this one, I've got 0.25. If I had done a 25 over 100 and then simplify it, then I would have got 1 over 4, because 25 goes 4 times into 100. So in this one, to simplify further, you got to go through multiple steps. Now, in this slide, you will see how to change a percentage into fractions. And the easiest bit is, if you see a symbol of percentage, that means always divide by 100. And if I do that, I'd go 64 over 100 gives me 0.64, which means if I was to simplify even further, gives me 16 over 25. And if I was to do it the other way around, if I was got a decimal and I want to change into a whole percentage, then I'd do decimal times 100, that gives me 12.5. And remember, you still got to put the sign of percentage because you have multiplied by 100. And again, you can then simplify it if it was to change into fractions. So 2 over 5 times 100 is 40%. And you could do it the other way around, which you got 2 over 5 times 100 gives you 40. So lots of different ways of coming to the same answers. I hope you found this useful, and this will be useful not only for Key Stage 3, 4 or 5 sciences, but also for your maths as well. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you.